G'day guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're doing the beautiful Mount Margaret. It's not much of a mountain, it's more of a hill, but it's 260 meters tall and you start from about 50 meters elevation, so it's not too difficult of a climb. It's a 2.6k return track and it takes roughly half an hour to the top. So it is fairly short, but it's a great alternative to some of the other hikes in the Townsville area, and it's not very well known, so there's hardly ever anyone else up here, and you can bring dogs, so I highly recommend it. Now the track starts just off to my right here. You go through the silver gate and just follow the path. Now to get to the start, it's 10 to 20 minutes out of Townsville, depending on where you're leaving from. Drive out on Harvey's Range Road out to Alice River. Turn left into Alice River and you'll see a sign at the first T intersection saying Mount Margaret to the right. Follow the ring road right to the end and the ring road then becomes Diamond Drive. You'll see there's a turn off to the left to Diamond Drive, but Diamond Drive also continues straight. You want to continue straight and there's a large vacant block on the left, which is where I'm standing. I just park on the side of the road, walk across the vacant lot down to the silver gate and start the walk from there. So unfortunately this trail does cop a bit of a beating during the wet season, so there are a fair few rocks and the surface is a little bit slippery, but on the whole, it's a very well made, well marked track. So the first few hundred meters is relatively easy. It's quite flat, and it's not until you go through a little creek crossing that you then have a bit of a steep climb up to this point here. Now this is a little clearing. Obviously people have used it for a fireplace at times, but once you get to this little clearing, you want to go and veer left. When it's really overgrown, particularly in summer, it can be a little bit hard to see. There is a track sort of leading straight. You want to take the steep one that goes to the left. Now there's only really this one harder section that requires a few bigger steps, but it's really not too difficult. So we made it. All in all, it's a great little hike. I've definitely worked up a sweat. And it's fairly steep most of the way. There are a few flatter sections and it's not that difficult because it's not that long. If you want to push, you could do it probably in 15 to 20 minutes or even less if you're really pushing. But I think the average person would get up in roughly half an hour and similar on the way back down. So as you can see at the top, we've got a beautiful view back out to Frederick's Peak, which is part of the Pinnacles at the back of Townsville. For the most part, you don't get a spectacular view. There are a lot of trees around. There is a nice view north facing. You sort of look over Alice River, and then the view behind me is the better one back out to Frederick's Peak. But as you can see, it's a great place to come for sunrise or sunset. Definitely worth coming up for. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for joining me on yet another hike, and until the next one, happy hiking.